dia, Portugal!
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP.
Good morning, Portugal, and I'd like to welcome you to another fantastic day.
Hey, Gumpers.
Hola, bon dia, alegria. Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show, a live stream and podcast. Good morning to you, tudo bem? Como estás? How is your Thursday looking? Slightly different show this morning. We've had a slight change of plan with Heather Binder from Boots on the Ground Portugal not able to join us this morning. She's got that seasonal bug by the sound of it, and wishing her an as melhoras. Get well soon, Heather. And we'll have a little look at your website, nonetheless, Boots on the Ground Portugal, and see how it is you can help people. And sorry not to be talking to you in person today. We hope to see you soon. We will be speaking to Colin Ross-Jones, who I'll be spending quite a lot of today with. We'll be playing netball in tutus, tasting cake, and trying out a new Toyota motor car later on today. So looking forward to having some fun with Colin. Oh, and neither can Chris. We had another blowout on the show this morning. So Chris was also meant to be joining us. Oh, okay. I've just all right. I've got that's incoming at the moment. A cancellation there. We were hoping to talk to Chris this morning in the UK, who's having a vehicle matriculated, I believe, in Portugal. We must talk to him about matriculating his Yaris, which sounds really painful, doesn't it? We will return to that. I promise not to show you any pictures at this time of the morning of having his Yaris matriculated. But at some point, we will speak to him. We have two fine, upstanding gentlemen nonetheless this morning. We've got Colin Ross-Jones joining us. So looking forward to speaking to you, Rugby Colin, in about half an hour. And we'll be finding out from Colin exactly what you need in your vehicle so that you can, if you should, in the unfortunate event of a breakdown, your vehicle failing, you have the right equipment with you by law and the other all-important documents. It's the glove box checklist basically this morning, and it can be a team effort. Do let us know what you think should be in that glove box, or if you have any experience of being stopped by the roadside, as I have, and was fined for not having one of my documents with me. 80 euros that cost me. Could have been worse. It could have been the 200 euro fine for the other document, the other part of the same document, in fact. So more about that at 9 this morning. Pam's in, Jackie's in, Coach Turner's in this morning. How's everybody doing? Amazing meetup yesterday. Absolutely wonderful. Had a wonderful time. On the fourth Wednesday, of course, we meet at the Storytellers, and we had a full house. The dining room was absolutely packed and buzzing. Thanks for your attendance, Clyde, Fiona, and Raven from Portugal, the place. Our guest of honor, of course, was Raquel from Lighthouse Consulting, and a few of our Gumper friends were finding out about how to start and run a business with Raquel during the proceedings. A lot of focus was actually on chatting, having a good time, food and drink, but we did get down to business. Let's get down to business, as Raquel says, once or twice. And ordinarily, the event runs from noon, midday, 12, whichever is your preferred description of 12 noon, midday. And I was there about 11:30, I think, getting ready, because I had a great meeting with Bobby and Andy, looking at our Englishman and Irishman plans, discovering Portugal. Great meeting. Good to see you, Bobby. Good to see you, Andy, as well. So I was there around 11:30 and actually didn't get home until about 8:30 because, and I can relate a meme to this that was sent in by James. Do you know what propaganda is? Yes, it's when a British person takes a really close look at something. They have a propaganda. Now, not many Cockneys there, but 3 Mancunians. That's more than enough on any occasion, 3 Mancunians. in one place, in one tight, confined space. Sorted! All right there, mate! We had the Mancunians in, and that Lee McGrady, head gardener Lee McGrady, came with Carl Hyde and Eric. Great to see you, gentlemen. And with Ben Austin, we went off to another establishment after having a few beers in the Gatsby bar. So excellent. Just popped out for a couple of hours. I was out until way into the evening and then went out again later on. Thank you very much, James, for that. Good morning to you. Or should I say, hooah! Hooah! We've got that on the effects board now. Watch out. So Go Motoring Portugal will dominate from about 9 this morning. And we've got Richard Allen with an update from the Prohibition Bar in Óbidos, if you want me to slow that down a little bit to half speed, Óbidos. And that's a good thing, isn't it? We can have half speed Portuguese conversation. This is all to do with I'm really feeling the sap of learning Portuguese rising in me this spring of 2024. Podemos falar português. Let's do this. Come on, no more excuses, no more messing about. Let's really get to grips with busting out a bit of Portuguese. Not talking about taking you through the emotional landscape of the A2, but just a bit more, a little more conversation. So let's do it. Let's start. Do you have this thought? Basically, I want to ask you, do you have this thought? I really should learn a bit more Portuguese. I really should speak a bit more Portuguese. Are you shitting on yourself like that? Let's make it happen, shall we? In this next couple of months as we go into the spring of 2024. And not only will you have a bikini body ready for the summer, you'll be able to bust out a few Portuguese phrases as well. Conversational, nothing too conjugational. It's conversational, not conjugational. It's about making an effort and getting a bit more confidence. I am going to do my absolute best to help you with that. And I've been talking to a number of people about boot camping. Let's get camp with our Portuguese boot camp, that is. And let's learn a little bit more. Let's develop a little bit more confidence. I think it's mainly the latter rather than the former. You know, the words are pretty easy to find. It's opening your mouth and letting them come out. So let's do that, shall we, this spring and summer. Who's in this morning? Coach Turner and James were in some time ago. Look at this. Bom dia from Jacqueline. No sooner do we ask for a little bit of Portuguese conversation. Bom dia, Santa Pascua a todos. So they're happy. We're beginning with the Happy Easter. It's Holy Week, and I will get that video made, that the pilgrimage video that Philomena sent us, which I think is absolutely wonderful to learn about what's going on in the Açores and the pilgrim adventure that's going on there. Within and without, of course, the pilgrimage is an inner as well as outer journey, of course, I think, if you're doing it right. Doesn't matriculating your Yaris require surgery? I'm afraid it might, and that may be why Chris can't join us this morning. It's all been a little bit too much, matriculating his Yaris. We'll find out exactly what that means from Colin when he joins us at around 9 this morning. The tutus are ready. More about that when he joins me on screen. I will be thinking of you while completing my small stall this morning. Have a great day. Off to woodwork. Don't be grossed out, anybody. He is talking about his woodwork class. Loves to get his hands on a bit of wood. Does Pete? Small stall. Forming in near Fundao. What made you? I mean, of all the things you could have made, a fruit bowl, a noughts and crosses set, a tic-tac-toe, not an ashtray, probably not an ashtray made out of wood. Ice bucket, you could season your wood, couldn't you, and turn it into an ice bucket. What made you want to make a small stool, Peter, if you haven't gone off to your woodwork class already? Bom dia, Gumpers. Feliz quinta a todos. Como tem passado? From James. You see, there we go. The Portuguese is surrounding us, even if you're not surrounding the Portuguese language. Mindful moment then. Forgiveness. Forgiveness is the fragrance. Forgiveness is the fragrance that the violet sheds on the heel that has crushed it. Yes! How about that from Mark Twain there? Beautiful. Thank you very much for that mindful moment there. And nutritional, I don't know why I'm saying nutritional dad joke. We talked a lot about nutrition yesterday with Bobby. My slide for yesterday's show was Bobby losing it. Did you think he was going to be shouting and screaming in an angry way? Losing it. No, losing all that weight, 5 kilos. 7 kilos. He does look very different. Saw him in real life yesterday. 7 kilos in 5 weeks. Good effort. Keep up the good work, Bobby. Why does the yogi always meditate under the citrus tree? Mindful, not nutritional dad joke. Although that's a whole new rich theme, isn't it? Where's my voice going? I left it in the bar last night. Hopefully it will stay with me until 9:30 this morning. A mindful dad joke. Why does, nutritional dad jokes. We could have those, couldn't we? There's a little offshoot for us. Why does the yogi always meditate under the citrus tree? It's sublime. It's a sublime spot. Ouch. Okay, and I think we forgot, did we not? Oh, no, we've caught up with the Star Trek memery. There was another from you there. Oh, here we go. Here's another one. He likes the idiosyncrasies, doesn't he, of the English language. If only I could speak it. Oh, not seen you in the chat club. Oh, point of order, Chairman. Okay, Pam, I will pop into the chat club. Yes, I will pop into the chat club. Gotcha. And that's going to be among my resources. We don't have any excuses, do we? It's all about willpower and confidence, isn't it? Much more. We're seeing that. It's not about a lack of opportunity or a lack of vocabulary or know-how. It's not about the technicals, is it? It's about the confidence and the willpower and the application. So, okay, see you in the chat club at some point. Your fingers have fingertips. Try saying this in Portuguese. Your fingers have fingertips, but your toes don't have toe tips. Yet you can tiptoe, but not tip finger. Oh, yes, get your head around that this morning. Who wrote this language and made all those decisions? They happen over time. It's a cultural, evolutionary thing, isn't it? Thank you very much. I think we're up to date now. Are we not, James, on that? See you Monday. And, of course, tomorrow, Friday, Feel Good Friday. It will be Paolo Fonassi, our favorite political foreigner. Shall I call him that? The man who wants to build a cricket club, or a cricket field at least, down there in the Algarve. And he's running for mayor in Albufeira. And he'll be bringing in a member of the AD political party to talk about the AD victory tomorrow. That's how we'll be celebrating Feel Good Friday tomorrow. Feel Good vibes politically. If that were possible. Let's find out tomorrow when Paulo and his AD political party colleague joins us on the Good Morning Portugal show. That's tomorrow at 9 o'clock. I think they'll be with us for half an hour, 45 minutes or thereabouts, and then we'll have a few laughs and kick back and welcome in the weekend tomorrow as we make our way towards 10 o'clock. And I said I hope my voice holds out till 9:30. Actually, I hope it holds out. I forgot how long the show is for a moment there. I hope it holds out until 10 this morning. But all that shouting with the Mancunians yesterday probably didn't help. And thanks to everybody else who joined us. Well over 20 people, a couple of new faces and some veterans, if we can call them that, but certainly some regulars coming along. Lovely to have Mrs. M along with me by my side at the event yesterday. Really good. And Marco, thanks for a great job. The roulade was beautiful. Really enjoyed that. That was beef and bacon wrapped up together with some lovely sauce on the plate. That was after some sardines. We're getting ready for sardines here in Portugal, and we will blow sardine smoke across back to Africa. You've given us your Saharan sand. We'll be blowing sardine smoke back your way very soon in the next couple of months as we approach sardine season here. And the pudding. Oh, that's a siren. I thought, what's that noise in the distance there? A siren. Maybe someone lit an early sardine barbecue and the bomberos are out dealing with that. Let me see if my picture of my pudding. I can show you a picture of my pudding if you like. Ooh, Mrs. Can't say that. Oh, I've just noticed. I took who is that in the reflection of my spoon there? If you can guess the gumper in this rather excellent picture. And we were talking about this with the kids last night. You'd have loved the pudding, kids. It was made with pork fat, which doesn't sound, a pork fat pudding doesn't sound very appetizing, does it? Unless you're Portuguese, of course, because pork, I think, is probably the favorite meat of the Portuguese, is it not? And the Portuguese pride themselves on using every part of the pig, no waste, when it comes to that animal being sacrificed for our nutritional and survival needs. And this pudding here, it was a pudding conventual, and pudding you would normally see in a flan dish shape, with the hole in the middle, if my memory and cultural awareness serves me correctly. And this was really beautiful. This was sugar, eggs, and I think, is there some cream in there? And pork fat. That was the fat element. And there was some lemon zest on the top. It was delicious. It was delicious, certainly for my palate. And is that Kai I can see opposite me? on the table there. I can't see in the. I thought that it might make a nice artistic addition to the picture, the back of the spoon there. But that was delicious. Francisca, you are an amazing patisserie chef who works at the Storytellers there. Very nice indeed. Thank you very much. Very popular with me. And Porky PUD, did you enjoy? Picture of Porky PUD this morning on the screen. Right, let's move on then. I think we should. And see who else is here this morning. Oh, Pinky. Morning to you, Pinky. Bon dia to you. And Owen is in as well. Gemini also in joining us this morning. How are you, Gemini? What do you call a good food fight? Not a good fight. What do you call it? A food fight that's been going on for years? A war of nutrition. Hoo-ah! You deserve one of those and this. Very good. And I'm thinking of arranging a chat club session around the question of as we did it as an exercise in the theatre class once. What is that? So what does that mean? I'll leave that to, instead of giving you all the answers, I'm going to allow someone else to translate that this morning. See what I did there? And there you go. There's your first engagement with Portuguese this morning. If you are in that condition, I really should. There you go. Cut and paste that or type that in to translate and tell me what that means. Okay, estás a fazer. Okay, let us know what that means. There's your first bit of Portuguese. A little, see, as Phil Cooklin says, and the mighty Phil Cooklin, loving these Fill My Cups that are coming through. Do you know what? I haven't asked for his permission, but I'm going to give you a little bit of a taster. This is what happens every morning when you're subscribed to Fill My Cup. PH, Fill My Cup in the morning.
Good morning, starshine.
Oh, yes. Good morning, starshine. Why was I talking about Fill My Cup? Can't remember. Oh, baby steps. That's all you need. Baby steps, learning Portuguese. Don't feel like you've got to take it on in one massive A2 burst. It's not really a burst, is it? It's an endurance marathon, the A2. A little bit every day, and you'll be amazed at the progress you can make if you just get over that first threshold of application and confidence. Oh, no joke, says the Slug. The friend of Slug James. And have I got a picture of your lovely, juicy slug to share with everybody? I think I have, James. Yes, forgot to show this. When I was talking to Marin the other day about white asparagus and said, it looks like a great big anemic slug to me on the plate. Would you agree? That's almost indistinguishable from white asparagus, what you're seeing. That's an albino white slug, isn't it? Amazing. At the foot of a redwood, possibly there. Well, that stands out. I mean, if you're a hungry bird, that white slug is making it easy for you to home in. Morning to you, Carl Hyde, the aforementioned. And I'll come back to your comment in just a minute, Carl. Great to see you yesterday. And clearly you got home safely. Glad to see that because you went through perilous conditions, I think, up and down the A8. Thank you for making the effort and bringing those two reprobates with you yesterday. Definitely a sort of man cave undercurrent, wasn't there, at the meeting yesterday? People were thinking that Lee, or as he was calling himself, James from time to time, he's quite the character, isn't he? He's quite the loud and jolly British fellow. There was a store in the area I was living in Northern California called the Stool Store. What a marketing nightmare. Yeah, freshly turned stools in Northern California. Are they still in business? I wonder. Are they still doing the business over there in Northern California? Thank you very much for that, James. I think that would be quite a good project, wouldn't it? You know, like marketing students, how would you market the Stool Store? And Dimash is here as well. Okay, means what are you doing? And is it in accusatory? Thanks, Dimash. Dimash Koblenz. There you go. Okay. Nice how it rhymes as well. It helps stick it in the memory, doesn't it? So, what are you doing? And is that like, conversation starter? Oh, for goodness sake, what are you doing, man? Is it? I guess it could be either, couldn't it? Depending on how you say it. Maybe start with an Ipa. You might hear your neighbors shouting, thinking there is someone who's in mortal danger, and they're just having a conversation. I'm thinking, there you go, the chat club. That will come up as the starter question in the chat club there. And thank you very much, then, Carl, for your comment this morning. Always a pleasure to spend a day in SMDP. And I took them along to the other my man cave, the laundrette, where we were looked after by Pedro in there. He saw me twice. I went back with the washing later on, Carl. You may be pleased or impressed by to hear that. 10 minutes to go then. until we're joined by Colin Ross-Jones for Go done it again. We're going to have to start that building feature. Go Motoring Portugal. Have I got the VT for Go Motoring Portugal? I do. Fantastic. Okay, that's ready to roll for when you join us at 9. Do like that. And we'll be making a bit more video today. Weather's very changeable, Colin. And what's the vehicle that? Oh, well, we'll find out from you when you join us. But we are reviewing another Toyota vehicle, and we're combining it, as I said yesterday, with a netball match. We're being trialed for the ladies' netball team. It sounds like a criminal trial, and it probably should be. We are wearing tutus for that. I wasn't able to get the fluorescent green mesh body stocking in time for this particular event, but don't worry. If you want me to DJ at your wedding or similar event, I will wear the fluorescent green body stocking if you specify. In fact, I specify that as part of my terms and conditions on my rider if I'm going to do a public event. Yes, sorry, I will not back down on that particular part of my contract with certain public performances. I mean, I think it lacks gravity in other sorts of situations, but certainly for a wedding, a celebration, or a party of some kind, I think the fluorescent green body stocking is the perfect choice for any entertainer. Okay, where was I? I don't know. Anyone know? I know. Before we welcome Colin. There we go. I found the VT for Colin joining us in about 8 minutes now. Let's have a look at Heather. Unfortunately, unable to join us this morning, but let's have a look at her website. Philomena, look, you can also learn Portuguese with Philomena via Zoom call. I'm gonna be giving you so many Portuguese language resources. Bom dia, pessoal. Tudo bem from Philomena this morning. Thank you, Philomena, for that lovely translation of the Pilgrim, Roberto in the Açores. I will put that all together into a video that can be shared in this Holy Week here in Portugal. Let's have a look then at Heather's website, Boots on the Ground Portugal. Of course, she can't join us. Got that seasonal feverish thing going on that a few people seem to be stricken with at the moment. So get well soon. To you. And I'm just having a look at your website here, Heather. Boots on the Ground. Let's go back to your homepage then. There it is, the floral DM. That is some very good branding for Heather Binder over at Boots on the Ground Portugal and team. There are a few people in her team who work alongside her, and I'm guessing that is the Obidos. We are talking to Richard Allen, of course, of Obidos and the Prohibition Bar. That is the Obidos Lagoon. I think we're looking at that, or Foz do Aurélio. The seaside near Caldas de Rainha. And on the home page then, let's navigate our journey together. We'll help solve the puzzle. She has a home seeker and rental services and referrals service there, consulting call or video meeting you can do. If you're thinking of moving to Portugal and you're not in the country yet and you want to have a chat with Heather, you can do that. All at Boots on the Ground PT, the all-important Boots on the Ground PT.com. Remote bank account set up. There you go. She can do that. And importantly, this morning, driver's license exchange, remote help as well. You can have Heather help you with that. Insurance, health, home, life and auto, complimentary help there. Heather can help you with. Welcome to Portugal, visa, consulting and administrative services as well. That's all on the homepage. And there is the Heather we know and love, the Heather S. Binder, as she is on her homepage there, co-founder, Director of Marketing and Consulting there, and team member Sarah too. Look, she's got the team, Michael, the Operations Manager, and I think there are a few changes going on there as she develops her service. And I'll just cherry pick a few things from this list here. Also, as well as what I've just mentioned there, help furnishing your new home, elderly care prescriptions. She runs I think she runs a couple of groups, actually, social groups and support groups on WhatsApp and Facebook. So elderly care prescriptions and medical assistance, transportation arrangements, NIF and fiscal representation assistance as well there. So comprehensive service. I will stick that link on the screen for you now. Thank you very much and get well soon. Heather Binder at Boots on the Ground Portugal. Just popping that into the chat now. bootsonthegroundpt.com. There we go on the screen for you right now if you want to consult with Heather there. What's this, Tia Filomena? No, Fayal. Muito bem. Esta de Ferish or Moro. There you go. Another translation challenge for anybody who wants to pick that up. I don't see why I should do. Okay. Talking to, I missed that bit. Talking to Dimash here. On the Esta, nos Açores en que ilha. Okay. Are you? No, I won't. I can, but I won't be translating that. Let's see who wants to pick that up and run with it. This is all very good practice. And you're watching a conversation in real time in Portuguese between Philomena and Dimash. Don't just be a spectator. Get involved. Maybe add something to that conversation. That's wonderful. Thank you very much, Philomena and Dimash there. Municipio de Alcobaça have published their program of events for 25th of April. Probably others have too. So have a look. And you did send me the link to that, didn't you, Pam? That's over. That was kicking off my thread that I'm building at the Portugal Club, which I'll show you now as well. As it turns out, I forget all of the things that we've squirreled away over at gmpvip.com. And I've actually got quite a lot of Carnation Revolution resources over there as we make our way towards the 25th of April, 2024, of course, 50 years since the big day and that big moment in Portuguese history. So let me just share some of those with you in these last couple of minutes until we have Colin join us. So there it is. There's the Portugal Club. You can sign up there at gmpvip.com if you'd like to do that. And yes, Portuguese language bootcamp. I think our first module is going to be, because it had the most votes, striking up a conversation with a stranger in public. I want to help you do that in 28 days, in 4 weeks. Okay, so more news to follow on that as we have it. Backed up, you have online sessions, brief bursts, no endurance tests, brief bursts, and ongoing support via a WhatsApp, Telegram, Signal group, that sort of thing as well. And you're going to be in the company of others, so you're going to get that peer-to-peer support as well as you step out of your comfort zone and bust out a bit of Portuguese in real life and in real time. Now, okay, here we go. Carnation Revolution, 50-year anniversary thread. Let's go. There it is. Thanks to Pam Smith for this much needed and long awaited ball. We're getting the ball rolling with this particular link here. And there's quite a few things. There's that video, which I love playing, or I put this together.
Because the thirst for freedom overcame all fears.
There we go. The thirst for freedom overcame all fears back in 1974 in Portugal. That wonderful video and the words there that describe the situation with some poignant music. It's a wonderful introduction, actually, certainly from my point of view of what went on back then. And we have other resources too, including links to films that have been made, of course, that document or dramatize the events of leading up to the 25th of April, 74. And thank you very much, Pam. Then this is CD 25. What is that? I don't understand. Oh, I see. CD2. I thought it was looking like 25 years. Then I'm seeing 40 years. I'm a little bit confused, but it's the way that graphic works on the screen now. I say that you can't see that at the moment. I'll show you. I'll share with you what Pam shared with me. But this isn't the Alcobaça. This is a more general thing, I think, that Pam has shared with us. But it's a good resource, and I'll give you the link to it as well. And you might want to practice your Portuguese again by not looking at it in English and seeing how you get on, just maybe switching between the two. So there's the link on the screen for you now. Let's have a quick look at the site itself and bring that onto the screen for you. Some iconic imagery of the time and a good good resource there from the University of Coimbra, Universidade de Coimbra. There, fantastic photograph. And I spoke 2 weeks ago to a couple of American folks on the Expats Portugal webinar, and they said their first visit to Portugal, although they're settling now in the Algarve, their first visit to Portugal, they were new arrivals. That's what we were talking to them about. First time they came was in April, funnily enough. They arrived in Lisbon in 1974, and it happened to be on the 25th of April. So I want to talk to them again specifically about that happening. That's an amazing memory to have, isn't it? As tourists coming in and seeing tanks on the streets and cars and celebrations and red carnations everywhere. So thank you very much for that resource there. A great start. And if you have any others that you find, I think now we've got the election and all the toing and froing to do with the election behind us. We can focus now on the 50th anniversary celebrations. I don't know why it says 40 years on there, on that particular screen. But anyway, we'll come back to that, I'm sure, in due course. Where's Colin Ross-Jones? He should be with us by now. Okay. Danny, thank you for your message as well. And thanks for all the thanks coming through from the folks who were at the Storytellers Gathering yesterday. Colin, were you joining me? Did I send you the link? Maybe I didn't. Maybe that's the problem. Okay, let me make sure. That's a real problem, isn't it? If you haven't got the link to join me, there's no wonder you're not. So there you go. Sorry about that. I thought I sent it to you yesterday. Yeah, I did. Anyway, I'm sending it to you again. Join me on the screen, if you will. And I'm going to look at a few more comments until you do. Ditch the comfort zone. Pam also in uncompromising mood when it comes to speaking and learning Portuguese. It always surprises me how many people go to Portuguese classes. Yeah, I see that. But Colin, I think you're in a different waiting room. You say you're in the waiting room. I think you're in a waiting room for a different there we go. He's here now. Fantastic. We'll bring you onto the screen in just a moment after your theme music. Oh, he was nearly there and then he disappeared again. Anyway, join me on the link I just sent you, Colin, if you will. Agora tenho que ir trabalhar. Beijinhos a todos there. Philomena's got to go. And nobody picked up, I think, the challenge there of translation. Come on, folks. You can do this. Por favor, de os meus cumprimentos ao Senhor Genuino Madruga. So send our compliments and our cumprimentos, please, Dimash, to Senhor Madruga, who we spoke to, of course, a couple of weeks ago at the Restaurant Genuino. That's a message to you, Dimash, from Filomena. A comida no Restaurant Genuino é maravilhosa também. Aconselho ao Restaurant Canto do Doca. Ambos muito bons. Great atmosphere, I'm guessing there. Ambos muito bons. I hope you're soaking this in. And I agree with you, Pam. Yeah, a lot of people do go to Portuguese classes, but are reluctant to get out and try speaking it. Why would you go to the classes and then not speak the language? It is that confidence piece that we need to work on, isn't it? Thanks, Dimash. I think you've sent us a volcanic emoji there, an Azorian volcanic emoji. And the videos in that archive are really good. Thanks, Pam. That's on this particular website here. So what's going on with Colin then? I think I'm going to get started with our motoring feature without him possibly, as he struggles to join us on the screen. What have we got here? That's he's got the link. I don't know what's happening. Let's play the music, shall we? And hopefully he'll be with us on the other side of it. Here we go. Oh, yes.
Hoorah!
Hooah! Let's talk about motors. Come on, let's do this, Colin. Morning to you.
Good morning.
How are you?
You can hear me. You can hear me, okay?
I can. You do look like a
Good.
pit boss. You look like a pit. Is that what they called F1? You do look like you're one of the support team, an F1 pit, right there.
Perfect.
It's a good look. Okay. Change the tires. Change the tires, Hamilton. Yes.
Sorry about that, but StreamYard, when I clicked to enter the studio, started putting me in what you want to create, your own studio.
Really? You went off
So
and did your own show?
Yep.
Wow.
So I had to reset. So
okay, well, you're with us now. Excellent stuff. Yeah, I was
Yep.
getting a little bit scared because this is one of those features where I probably, it's like rugby, really. I shouldn't be allowed out alone talking about rugby or cars, for that matter, and many other subjects. So thank goodness you're here with us this morning.
me too.
Don't say that. You're our resident expert. There are also... Did you not know that?
I pity the others then.
Yeah, bear with us, everyone. We'll get good at this eventually. Coach Turner, of course, coming over. We've got lots of irons in the fire, haven't we, with the motoring?
We certainly have.
Let's
Yeah.
work our way through them. This morning, we want to tell you, of course, about what you need in your car should you be the subject of a roadside stop and the police want to
Yeah.
see your documents. So it's good to have a little refresher on that. We're going to talk about meeting up with Coach Turner, I think, because we saw Hugh in the chat the other day, and we'll be staying with Hugh, won't we?
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
And today, Colin, we're going to go playing netball in tutus. Why, Colin? Why?
Well, life gets more exciting as you get older.
I see. Okay, fair enough.
These are the sort of things that when you were in your 20s and 30s, when you really wanted to do these things, you wouldn't get invited because the risk of something happening. Whereas when you get to our age, they know that there's no risk of anything happening.
But the sap is rising. It is spring, Colin. So let's see what happens as we enter the netball court dressed in tutus. You suspect nothing. I don't know. I'm wondering. So could you tell us a little bit more about what we're doing this afternoon after we've picked up the new Toyota? What's happening?
Well, first off, we're picking up at 11 o'clock. We're actually going to video our friend Rui. Yeah. Talking us around the car as if we're buying it.
Oh, excellent. Okay. The magic.
So this is the experience that a client would have when they're buying a new or a used car.
Yes.
And we are to drive the very latest CHR Toyota, which is like their mid-size SUV. So it's the most popular car that people would buy if they want to buy an SUV.
Okay, all right. So Toyota SUV. I've heard some of these SUVs referred to as FUVs. These ones that are parked outside schools and so on. But
well, yes, this is also a yummy mummy's car as well.
So you and me will be wearing tutus in a yummy mummy car and driving to a netball fixture. Yeah,
via Richards actually. I did arrange to go.
Richard's joining us as well. Richard's going to be just telling us what's going on at the Prohibition Bar in a little while.
Yeah, we'll be there at I think it's 2 o'clock to do a little bit of advertising for him.
Excellent.
And the Toyota.
And the Toyota, yeah, of course. All right.
Yeah.
And then on to netball.
And then on to netball.
Right.
After we've done some filming, we need to do some filming.
Okay. And I can't remember.
Do you know Sorry?
I can't remember why we're playing netball. This is to celebrate.
It's your fault.
Is it? Okay.
It's your fault.
All right.
Yes. When you had Caroline and Becky on, they invited you for.
Right. Yes, that's right.
To join them at one of their sessions.
Okay.
And since I introduced Caroline to the show, I got upset with her and said, "Hey, why haven't you inviting me?" "Well, you can come along as well," she said.
She's very quick, isn't she? Like that. Yeah, very.
Yeah.
She's
yes.
PR expert. She smoothed that out immediately. So
she did.
So we'll be there, and we're playing netball and trying cake apparently as well.
And trying cake. Yes.
What a fantastic day ahead of us. Wonderful. Okay, so that's that, and we'll be popping.
The other thing is, car manufacturers use Portugal to launch their cars. The main reason for that is the exceptional weather that they get. They're guaranteed good weather. You and I, when we test cars, seem to get the worst possible weather.
Invariably. Yes, that's weird, isn't it? Every time we've gone out with a new car, it's rained so far. Well, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens today. Thank you for your incoming photo there, Michael. Out with Philomena at Gondramage at the Schist Villages. So I'll show those a little bit later on as well. And this Portugal with Coach Turner. What's happening there then? We've got that fixture as well, haven't we?
Yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, our good friend Ian Turner, who also is a petrol head. Also, his cousin races with another gentleman in a Triumph TR2 or TR3. No, TR2. Ian is one of the pit crew there, so he obviously looks a bit like me when he's at the races.
Yeah, with the headphones on. Yeah,
and he loves coming to Portugal, and this time he's bought a Porsche Cayenne. And he's bringing that along for a really good trip into Portugal, down to the Algarve, into Spain, and then up to the Estrellas, where we shall join him. And there is one road up there that is nothing but squiggles.
Yeah.
And you and I will be in my Yaris, and Ian and his wife in the Porsche, and we should have some good filming.
Very good. On one of the greatest roads in Europe, I've heard it described as. Is that right?
I believe it is. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Pam, you can join us and put that childhood memory right if you like later on. She hated netball at school, never got the chance to play. It is traditionally a girls' game, isn't it, for some reason? Bon dia, Sarah Yerman. Good, thank you for being here. Good morning to you. Yes, and when we get on to the documents that you need, apparently there's an app for that. Thank you for the link to that, Pam. That's great and very helpful. And yes, we had a cancellation, didn't we? Chris was going to join us this morning, I think, from the UK.
Yes.
He is having his Yaris matriculated, right?
Actually, Chris is not in the UK. He's in the next street. He's in the next street to me here,
Okay.
Which was quite strange because in Portugal there are around about 50 GR Yarises in the whole country. And I'm out walking my dogs and I see this GR Yaris parked in the next street.
Which must have been a bit annoying, to be fair, right? You've chosen a very distinctive, you've chosen a very distinctive special car, and the next door neighbour's got one.
Yeah, in my little village. So there I go out with the dogs, up to his house, knock on the door. Hey, who owns this car? And out comes his girlfriend and explains that he's busy on the phone because there's an idiot outside with 2 dogs.
Right. Wanting to know whose car this is, right?
Yeah, wanted to know whose car it is. And I think they'd only been there about 3 or 4 days, and they got this idiot come round, knocking on the door.
Okay.
But since then we've made very good friends, and he did run a motorsport marketing company, and he sold that 2 years ago, but is still involved in helping them out. Although he's trying to make it less and less. But overnight, his secretary had put a meeting in for him at between 9 and 10 today with a very important client. So sadly,
he got bumped.
He had to. We had to do without him, sadly.
Yes, absolutely. I totally understand.
But he'll come again.
Yaris matriculated. Now that sounds really painful. Is having your Yaris matriculated as painful as it sounds?
Yeah, they came from Switzerland, and he bought the car in Switzerland, and he's having it matriculated here.
Which means, I mean, sometimes there's another word in the motoring processes, isn't there? Is it homologation? I mean, why do they use all these big words? Matriculation basically means converted to Portuguese bureaucracy, right? It's not a change to the car, is it? It's just recording the car for Portuguese purposes. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Because basically, you're not supposed to be running a car from another EU country. In Portugal, you're not supposed to be running it for any more than 180 days. But now that's the whole year.
Well, it's the beauty of being part of a federal Europe, or not on this in this particular instance. Okay, let's move into this checklist then. The glove box checklist, I'm calling it.
Oh, Janetta.
It's all right.
Janetta's seen somebody go past.
Yeah, it's quite normal to have pets taking part in the show. Certainly, it seems at the moment, or in the last few days. So the glove box checklist. Where should we start with that, Colin?
Basically, with the documents.
Okay, so what do we need?
You need your full driving license. So that's the first most important thing.
All right.
Then proof of ID, which obviously, if you're a citizen here, it's the card you've got.
Now, interestingly, it is a requirement by law, whether you're in a vehicle or not, to carry identification, I believe.
I believe, yeah.
Okay.
As it is when you're walking dogs, you're supposed to be carrying the dog license.
You're not just in the No.
Yeah.
not you. So not just your own ID,
Seriously.
but your dog's ID as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. What about cats?
Oh, cats that aren't registered.
I think they should be.
Because
Oh,
a
they're
dog
chipped,
has to be the dog has to be licensed at the local Junta Frisier.
okay, and I think cats have got a chip as well because I was sent a massive passport from my cat.
Oh, they've got chips, but that's they don't have licenses. They only have a chip, so that should they get run over or get lost, the vets can find out who owns the animal.
Well, that's a new bit of information. You should, by law, have your dog's ID with you as well as your own.
Yeah,
that's quite.
I never have.
Don't say that publicly.
They're A4 size. I mean,
you not go out with a filing cabinet.
It's bad enough going out with Janetta on a long lead.
Right. I'm just walking my filing cabinet. I think I'll take the dogs with me as well. Incredible. Okay, so where were we? Driving license,
right?
ID.
Driving license, proof of ID, insurance certificate for the vehicle.
Yeah. Okay. Now that's changed recently, hasn't it? There was a time. Yeah. Tell us about.
You used to have to have it on. You used to have to show that on the windscreen.
Yep.
But now you only have to carry the certificate with you.
Yeah, and that's how I got busted. Was I was stopped, and I thought I was really quite, pride comes before a fall. I thought I had a lovely wad of documents, but I mean, as it turns out, I knew this. I was going to get a fine one way or another anyway. It was a kind of revenue generation situation, I think. And it was in the time where you had to carry two parts of your insurance, the little square that you cut out, which is very quaint and old fashioned, isn't it? Where you cut out the little square and you stuck it in the window, and the certificate as well, which was meant to be in the glove box. And I only had the certificate on the window because I thought that's all you needed. And that got me an 80 euro fine. And I was sent off to the cash machine to go and get the cash to do that because they didn't have their electronic machine working. So I had to pay for all the petrol to go to the cash machine for the fine as well. And on the way, and we're talking about apps here. Thanks very much for your input on this, Pam. I thought to myself, hold on a minute. I can show him a PDF on my phone of the document he's looking for. So again, pride came before another fall because as I returned to get my wad of documents, which as I left with the police officer, I said, look, I'm leaving all these documents with you now. If I get stopped again, I haven't got my documents. And he laughed and said, I don't think that will be a problem or something like that. But I came back and I said, look, I've got that document you're looking for as a PDF. He said, no, sorry, I've written a ticket now. So, that's behind us anyway, wasn't it? It was 200 euros if you didn't have it in the windscreen and 80 euros if you didn't have it in the glove box, the counterpart to it. But you only need the certificate in the car. You don't need anything on the windscreen now, do you?
Well, I'm not sure about the IPO, the little square section for that. When you get your car MOT'd at the IPOs,
yes, you
they
need
give
that.
you a sheet. You need that on your windscreen if the car is over 4 years old.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, and that's a yearly.
So if your car is younger than 4 years old, you don't. It's not required.
No. You don't get tested here until the car is 4 years old, and then it's every 2 years until I think it gets about. I can't remember what age, 6 years or 8 years or something, and then it's every year.
Yep. Okay. Very good. Excellent.
Okay. Then you need, from paperwork wise, that's probably it, except that I carry along with the insurance certificate, I carry a accident report paperwork.
Yeah.
Because my insurer provides that.
Yes.
Which is a good idea. But the other thing that people may not be aware of is, should you have an accident, you do not move the car, regardless of whether you are blocking the road or not.
Yeah.
You must not move the vehicle. The reason for that is that the insurance companies want you to get the police report so that they can argue out whose fault it is.
Yep. Okay. Whilst everybody else in the city is waiting behind you.
Yeah. They can't get past.
Yeah. Okay. I've seen this it's worse in Lisbon. Because often,
yeah.
on a
I mean,
roundabout, you can go around people, can't you? But I've seen gridlock occur because people cannot move their vehicles until the police have arrived.
Yeah, but I mean, the most common thing here is bumps at roundabouts. People going into the back of somebody as they're about to go off round the roundabout, and some idiot's coming too fast the other way, and they have to slam their anchors on, and somebody's right in the backside of them.
Yep.
And that sort of accident is very common here. If it's on a single lane, then that blocks the road.
That's hopefully you've brought.
But the insurance company want you to actually bring the police and get that report.
And the paperwork you just mentioned there often comes with your insurance papers, doesn't it? It's like a little official booklet for recording.
Yeah. And to be honest, I would fill, even if you call in the police, I would fill that in yourself so that you've got an accurate and an accurate report, because you never know who you bumped into, do you?
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely, literally. Cats are also registered. Don't know if you have to carry it when you take them for a walk. Should you be taking your cat for a walk? As people do, I've seen people taking parrots and rabbits for walks in Portugal. So it is possible here.
Oh, our cat Dino regularly comes walking with the two dogs.
Yeah, we've got a cat. Well, he's missing at the moment. We have a cat who used to love walking with the dogs. The convertible here in Portugal is decapitated by the sound of it. Descapotable. A decapitated car is the convertible. Thank you much for being here and sharing that information with us. Pam's chipping in with the matricula for the vehicle. Now, there is a card, isn't there, which shows the vehicle registration as well. So it may be worth carrying that too.
Yeah. The registration document has to be there, and it's a paper.
Yep.
These days, it's just a very small A3, is it, or something they call it? The very small.
Oh, I think I've got a plastic card as well for mine. But anyway, the matriculation document, the actual registration of the vehicle itself, like your logbook, you would have called it.
Your logbook,
You need that too.
Okay, then. As we were talking about accidents, should you have an accident or need to get out for a puncture or anything, you have to wear reflective jackets. They have to be the approved ones, which you'll find out when you go to the IPO.
Okay.
Well, you can buy reflective jackets anywhere, probably at the Chinese or something, but they need to be the proper high-vis reflective jackets. They need to be the correct ones.
Okay. And as in the right color, the right color and reflectivity. Okay.
Well, they have to have a site. Is it the CE on them or something?
Okay. All right. So the official high vis.
Yeah.
Do you recommend one for each passenger, or is it just the driver that?
Well, I always carry two.
Okay.
Just in case.
All right.
And then you need a warning triangle, which can be placed a sensible distance from the car to warn people that that either the car is in an accident or you have a flat tire or something.
Yep. Okay.
You're also meant to carry a full set of replacement bulbs.
Yep. This is one of the things you learn about, isn't it? When you grow up in the UK and you want to drive in Europe, you get this list, don't you, of things, and that's always been a surprise to me, as well as having the little stickers to change the light path on the headlamps. A set of replacement bulbs, or lamps. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
And
these are the things that you can get fined for, aren't they? So it's like running the gauntlet, isn't it, of all of these things? And I've heard of police officers, if you get out of the car to talk to them, you don't wear your high vis. Well, there you go. There's a fine right there.
Yeah. Well, they seem to be on some sort of incentive to
right, okay, allegedly
pay for themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And then one interesting fact is, if you're on a motorway or an IP or an IC road, which are the main trunk roads, every 2 kilometers there are phones to connect you to the SOS people.
Right.
So that's a useful tip.
And
That's
I
it,
think
really.
as is becoming standard practice around the world, get out of your vehicle if you possibly can. Don't sit in your vehicle on a busy road or a
No,
motorway.
no.
Get off and get on the other side of the barrier into safety,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. I mean, there was a very sad incident on the M6 where a truck driver who is of a nationality that we know very well.
Oh, right. Yes, of course. Yeah, yeah.
He was driving along using his laptop, and there was a family of 5 from Conway
Right.
on the hard shoulder, waiting for somebody to come and help them. And
Yes.
the vehicle plowed into them and killed all 5.
Horrific. Okay, so get out the
Yeah,
vehicle. Make sure you get out of the vehicle. Don't stay in the vehicle if you're broken down
absolutely.
on the hard shoulder. Even though you're on the hard shoulder,
Mm-hmm.
it's not safe enough. You need to get on the other
Mm-hmm.
side of the barrier. And for that matter, and on that note, I mean, it's worth having blankets, isn't it, in the vehicle and an extra coat if it's at night and it's chilly sometimes,
I
of
think
course,
so.
even in
Yeah,
Portugal. So
yeah,
think about that.
yeah,
Plan ahead with that. And thank you for that list as well. So we've got that, and we'll pop that up in the Portugal Club. We've also got
yeah.
the app here that has been sent to us kindly by Pam. This is for Portugal ID.gov.pt. If you want to just give up and give all your details to the government and maybe the Chinese government at the same time, just get that app and digitize everything. You know, if you're just fed up with it, or it's like, well, I don't know. I give in. I will just submit all of my personal data to whoever who needs it. There's the app for doing so, possibly. There. Anyone got any experience of doing so? Do let me know. Pam, it's being very helpful this morning. Thanks, Pam. Well, you normally are, but especially so this morning. You have to carry enough high-vis jackets for the number of occupants in the vehicle, which could be quite a lot if you have an SUV and a 7-seater. Dash cams, the grey area. Thanks, Paul, for being here. Good to see you
Yeah.
this morning. What do you make of the dash cam situation? It's a bit of a grey area, isn't it?
Well, I believe it's illegal to have them in Portugal. They do not like it at all.
Yeah. Okay.
So you would get fined.
If you add one
As
that is
you,
not a manufacturer's built-in dash cam, for example.
well, they don't have them, do they? Manufacturers don't have dash cams.
Oh, by dash
They
cam,
have
you mean what, like a GoPro or something like that? That's
yeah.
But
Yeah.
what about? I mean, what if it's a surveillance issue? Presumably, the Portuguese government authorities are not too happy about all the many cameras that a Tesla has on it, for example. But there's not a lot you can do about it.
Well, again, those are for automated driving rather than for recording what's happening.
Right. Okay. Right. No, it is not illegal. It is what you do with the footage. I'm guessing there. Okay, so you can have it.
It is. I'm sorry, Paul, but it is illegal.
Okay. All right. Let's just sort this out in the pub car park, you two.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And it's on an official government app for storing documents issued in Portugal, not shared with anyone, secure and legally recognized. Fair enough. Yes, be careful, says Dimash. Be careful when stopping your car on the side of the road, especially if it's raining. Always choose to turn on all 4 indicators and get out of the car without hesitation. Thanks, Dimash, for that. Tesla can record. They use it for security mode. And while he's here, he's saying, why don't we have Monday as a public holiday? Can't help you with that this morning, Darren. Honda E has built-in cameras as well. So, yeah, I think, Colin, you were making a distinction between leisure cameras, GoPros and dash cams and built-in cameras.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, those are there for helping with autonomous driving
Yes.
rather than recording what's actually physically happening.
All right, fantastic. Be prepared to make an emergency stop in the middle of a town while someone has a chat with a friend. Don't get twisted. When you see people parked on roundabout islands, it's quite common. Thank you for your added commentary there, Gary. Absolutely spot on, isn't he? And seriously, this is
always
interesting point here. I think I might have tried the parking on the roundabout thing once, but it just felt so uncomfortable. I didn't do it anymore.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't do it.
No, and stopping in the middle of the road. Now, I think this is based on this Portuguese cultural matter. If you are in front, the road, the pavement, the government office, the bank queue, the supermarket belongs to you. Would you agree, Colin?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Okay. So it's
Yeah.
not about thinking about who's behind you. If it's your turn, it's your turn, and you can do what you want with your turn.
Driving in Portugal is a case of expect the unexpected.
Yeah. Well said.
And then you'll be safe.
Yeah.
Don't come to a roundabout and think that because there's cars coming and you're on their left, which is you always have to give way to the left, that they're going to not enter the roundabout at speed, because numerous times they don't even look, they just enter. That it's their territory and they're having it, and that's it.
Yep. There's a T-junction in my town where you would think it's the Marginal, it's the beachfront road, and you would think, okay, this is my road. This is my road here, and people stop to let the traffic in from the left on the T-junction, which I think is quite unusual and causes some.
Well, you have to,
but
you have to give way.
It's a continuous road rather than. Which I would have thought you have right of way because you're on a continuous road. There are no road markings.
Well, you should have. Yeah.
So approach with hesitation, I think, is the point being made here, isn't it? Yeah. Don't expect the unexpected.
I had an experience last week where I was driving up to the Toyota garage to just confirm the things that we're doing today, and I was driving north on so the Toyota garage was on my left, on the other side of the road, and I turned in. And Rui said, "Colin, you can't do that. That's €250 fine."
Really? You should have gone to the roundabout and turned around.
Hang on a minute. Yeah, you should go to the roundabout and turn around. He said it's very dangerous to cross the road, except that it's really near a roundabout. Nobody should be going that fast. And he said, "No, you're not allowed to do that." And I looked at the road, and there's no road markings. Nothing at all. So how do you know? But that's no defense apparently here.
Well, thank you. No, you're right. If there are no road markings, that doesn't mean you're not going to get fined. Our mutual friend Jerry from Portugal crossed the line, and he was stopped. And he said, "But there are no lines there." And the police officer said, "Well, there used to be."
Yeah, exactly. They used to be. Yeah,
you
exactly.
crossed where there would have been lines. So that's a really great point and something to remember.
Yeah.
Instead of crossing the path of oncoming traffic, go to the next roundabout, make the turn, do a U-turn, and turn right as you're proceeding. Very good.
Yeah. We have to accept we're not in the UK or America where you'd get away with that because there are no road markings. There's nothing to tell you can't do it. But here, they all know that you can't do it because there used to be road markings.
That's right. We're not in Kansas anymore.
No.
Okay.
No.
So just a couple of things then. Richard's just joined us, so we'll chat with Rich in about a minute. So it's the purpose of the camera that's relevant. I think that makes some sense there, Darren.
Yeah.
Driving anywhere, you should expect the unexpected. I find the standard of driving here generally better than the UK, says Pam. Certainly more enjoyable. Yes. I'm not sure Colin agrees with you there. In 2.5 years, I've never encountered someone stopped in the middle of a road. You've missed out having a conversation. Guess I'm just lucky. And in the US, it's defensive driving. And it's what's I think if you're on a bike, if you're a pedestrian, if you're driving, assume that everyone else wants to kill you on the road. It's not a bad position to take. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. That's also in the US. Just guessing what's happening on the road. Yes. And if there's not a broken line on the road, you can't cross. That's true. And even if there is a broken line, you might want to just drive up and U-turn and come back on the right side there.
To be honest, in that particular instance, there are broken lines.
And you still shouldn't do it.
It's only because that they're faded so much.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Right. Okay. So maybe take a defensive approach there. Last comment for the time being from Gary: parking on the other side of the road facing in the wrong direction could also get your collar felt, which is a nice British euphemism for a tasty little fine there. So there you go. Yeah, make sure you're parked in the right direction. It's
even illegal to do that during daylight.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting, isn't it? And only park on the pavement where you're indicated to do so. Right. There's a man in dark glasses on a building site wanting to join us. Let's give him a round of applause. Who is this guy?
Whoa!
Hey,
Good
Rich.
morning. Good
How are you?
morning,
What's
Carl.
going
How
on
are
in the
you?
Prohibition Bar?
Yeah, that's
I'm
me.
good. Yeah, it is him behind the glasses there, isn't he? Looking all rock and
I'll
roll.
take them
Yeah.
off. So I do
No,
that.
no,
for
no,
you.
you're all right.
very-
You're all right. I like it.
I'm
It's a good
just
look.
I'm staring into the sun where I am, so it's better if I've got the
Oh.
glasses on. If that's all right with you.
It's absolutely fine because
Thank you.
no disrespect, we're actually interested in what's going on behind you
Yeah.
this morning. It's I imagine quite a busy, energetic atmosphere as you make the final preparations for the opening of the grand opening. Who doesn't like a grand opening of the Prohibition Bar in Óbidos? There, how's it going, Richard?
It was pretty manic yesterday, I have to say. Probably the sort of best and worst days all rolled into one. We had all of the kitchen equipment arrived and was installed, or is nearly installed.
Right.
We obviously had all the electric works ongoing, which is still not finished. We've got the new fridge went in, the new glass doors have started to be installed. The builders here doing a lot of the work on the outside extension area. So it was really all go. It's a lot calmer today. There are other things still going on today, pretty much a continuation of yesterday. But today is the big day where we're clearing out the bar area completely, cleaning, touching up. And then tomorrow we'll be installing all the chairs and tables, and hopefully drinks will start to arrive. But sadly, as we've posted out on Facebook and Instagram and other places, social media platforms, the weather's going to beat us. It's not going to be anything else that's going to be the weather. So we've taken the very difficult, sad decision to postpone the opening for a week and actually create what we're calling the big weekender opening. So
Sounds
we're now
great.
not going to open on Good Friday, and that's it's big news. So thanks for giving me the opportunity to say this on the show as well, because I know a lot of people listen and
Yeah.
watch. So we won't be opening Good Friday this Friday because the weather forecast is just atrocious.
Okay.
And we just think the place deserves more. The effort that's
Yes.
been put in such an incredibly short space of time, I think it really does deserve better. So we've got to hope that next weekend, it may not be. And if it isn't, we will be going ahead next week, no matter what.
Wonderful. Okay.
Yeah, but the idea will be 5th will be a sort of dress to impress cocktail party opening day. And then on the Saturday, we're going to open the restaurant as normal and encourage people to book and come and eat with us for our reduced menu at the moment. And then on Saturday's the big day in conjunction with Communities Unite, we're going to have the stage will be in use for the first time formally. We're going to have a churrascaria for 200 people, and including Four Horsemen are playing, my band, Winer Billy Rollers are heading the bill, and Chakra Shakers.
Oh,
Yeah,
back.
really happy about all of that. Just a shame it couldn't be this weekend.
Yeah, no, totally understand that. So it was going to be a Good Friday opening. It's now going to be, instead of Holy Week, it's probably going to be Unholy Week at the Prohibition Bar and the big opening.
I don't know if you can hear me,
We've got you. We can
Carl,
hear you
but
now,
I've
Richard.
lost you.
Oh, okay.
I've lost you completely.
Oh, okay. I think what we'll do is try and rejoin us. I'm going to send you a message via WhatsApp there. Can you hear us again now, Rich? No, it would appear not. So I'm going to just send Rich a message because I want to find out more. The way in which they've done this is very impressive, isn't it, Colin? It's like a crowdfunded
Certainly
bar
is.
in the spirit of
Yeah.
Communities Unite. What's impressed you about that so far?
Well, the fact that they're all there, 7 days a week, doing DIY to get it going.
Yes.
That's real commitment.
Yeah, it's incredible. Can you hear us now, Rich? No, he can't. Okay, so I'm going to boot him off unceremoniously and have him join us again via the link that I've sent him earlier on. Hopefully he can join us again in a couple of minutes because it's a great backstory to the Prohibition Bar. It was the Rex Bar that some people know that's been there a few years. that Simon Gotto used to run in Obidos, and now it's been expanded and evolved into the Prohibition Bar. Community funded, community supported, and with the spirit of communities unite. Barack saying, "Hola, bon dia from Travansa. Us Texans drive like we're part of a Mad Max movie." You've got the roads for it. You've got the roads for it over there, Barack. Good to see you this morning. Rich, can you hear us now?
Yeah, got you back now,
Right.
Carl.
Wonderful. We were talking about the community spirit. It's obviously it is in the spirit of Communities Unite, and we love what you've done with Communities Unite. Now you've got your own place here at the Prohibition Bar. Can you tell us a bit, how the funding model worked, how the community involvement is working?
That's just been staggering, to be honest with
Yeah.
you. As you know, we've got 71 people that have actually invested in the bar. And of
Wow.
course, that 71 is actually over 100 because a lot of those are couples, partners. And so in reality, I think it's about 118 people. And I've got to say, the response we have had here working, as I'm talking to you, there are people arriving here to actually work again today for nothing.
And I've got
And
to
they've
say,
all
the
been.
response we have had here working. What's happening there? We're hearing you twice now, Rich. There are people around.
I can't hear him, so I had to put it on.
Oh, okay. Carry on, Rich. Let's work our
Sorry,
way
I
through
think
this.
Colin's got me on loud, so I'm coming through with the time delay.
Oh, I see. Okay, fair enough.
So yes, it's been absolutely moving, to be honest with you. The amount of time people have given, and it really is in the sense of community. And I think that this has all started with Communities Unite. And it would be really lovely to actually for the Sunday next weekend to be beautiful weather and actually launch this thing properly with the Prohibition Bar and Communities Unite, because what could be better, to be honest with you? That would really represent the whole Portuguese spirit, the expat community getting together. And I'm just keeping my fingers crossed that the weather will be okay.
All right, and so there's going to be the cocktail reception on the Friday the 5th, like a restaurant service on Saturday the 6th, and the big party, the barbecue and a Communities Unite style on Sunday the 7th. Is that right?
That is absolutely right. Yeah, that's it.
And it's worth traveling for. I would say if you come up from Lisbon, travel from other parts of the country, it's going to be a joyous event, I think. And you're very keen within the whole spirit of Communities Unite to have Portuguese community join you. You got Portuguese prices. I think that's been very important to you, isn't it? And to not become an expat kind of separate thing. This is very much about the spirit of integration that you have pioneered basically with Communities Unite.
Yeah, I think touching on the point about the Portuguese, it's absolutely crucial to all of us here to make this place inclusive for everybody. We don't want this to become I suppose, a dedicated expat bar. We want this bar to be for everybody. And we've got, there's the different zones in the bar now is quite remarkable in terms of the bar area is the speakeasy where you can come in, but you can drink lager from, under €3 a pint. The coffee's still only going to be 80 euro cents. That's what we want. But equally, you can have a vodka martini in there as well. So, it's really going to provide that. The outside space is going to be way more music related. Lots of wood, beautiful stained wood, wooden tables, and then outside in the garden now, it's really looking quite impressive now, and the stage is finished. So it's really good. I can maybe try and show you actually.
Yeah, that'd be wonderful. Let's give you full screen.
The rotation on this doesn't work. So what I'll do is I'll bin that round. So I don't know if you can see that.
What a lovely! That's a proper pub garden. Fantastic.
That's exactly and that's the view. It's not bad, is it?
What? You've got the Obidos aqueduct, isn't it, in the distance there?
Yeah, and this is the internal room now.
This is brilliant.
So this is all being panelled out and finished today, believe it or not. But it will be. It will be. I've got to give a massive shout out for our builder, Norberto, because he is. Without him, we would not be here now. We really wouldn't. We would probably not be opening until
Forza
June.
Norberto. Very good.
And then I don't know. Is it
contrasting
okay for inside?
Look, okay. This is fantastic. Look at this.
So in here, there's our super large, huge beer fridge and drinks fridge down the bottom.
Excellent. Yeah.
Our bar is in under here somewhere. There it is. Look, it's there. And then we've got the actual back bar is in now. and this is all being cleaned out and cleaned today. Capping's got to go on the electrics, and then we've got this huge commercial kitchen now upstairs. He's
Amazing.
still picking that up all right? Yeah, good.
Yeah, we got you.
There we go.
Look at this.
With a new skylight. Yeah, I know.
Terrific.
And when you think how long this has taken, it really I still find it unbelievable.
It is
And
amazing.
again,
Team
none of
effort,
this.
collaboration. Isn't this wonderful? Power of community.
Yeah, well, that's the whole point. Look, there's Sean. Say hello, Sean.
Hello, Sean.
Sean
Morning.
going up
Love on
the
you.
ladder already.
There he
Look,
goes.
another one of our investor volunteers. We've got the ever-present Barry out there, who's here every single
Morning, Barry.
day.
Yeah.
You see, it's just that's how it is.
I
and we've got
cannot
another
wait
12
to get
people
a
coming
and
today.
walk out into that garden. That it looks fantastic. Tell us about the menu, if you will, then, Rich, as well.
Yes, certainly. We've got. It's going to be based on a Petishkosh menu, with a twist. So there's going to be the sort of stables that you expect, but we're going to put a little twist on those. And to find that out, you've got to come and try the food, of course. But
Gladly.
there'll be there's going to be a meat dish of the week, a fish dish of the week, a pasta dish of the week, and that'll be changed obviously weekly. We're going to have the Petishkosh listing will come down to about 13, 14 items.
Cool.
We're then going to have a lovely dessert menu as well, but very simple. And then we've got a really nice wine list, all from local producers, beers produced locally on tap. We're even going to have Bishop's Finger on tap.
Don't worry,
and,
everybody. That
and
is
also-
a name of beer. That's not a body part.
Yes, it isn't. It isn't.
holy
Well,
man's body.
it probably is a body part that Colin's had something to do with in the past. I'm not sure, but allegedly.
Yes, guilty as charged. Look, he's blushing.
And then we've got our own Prohibition Ale, which is an English ale, lower carbonation. That's going to be on tap as well as Guinness.
And that's our man James, isn't it, at Lorignan, who's
That's
brewing
correct. James at Ansem, he's been really helpful. We've also got Bordallo beers by the bottle, and they'll be guesting on tap. We've got Netush locally as well. We've got Malika, Joao from Malika. Everybody locally. Our meat is sourced locally. Our vegetables are sourced locally. The provenance to us is very, very important. And to support local small suppliers. That's what we're trying to champion at the moment.
Incredible. This is wonderful. And music, of course. We came up with a strap line for the Prohibition Bar where the music is louder than your knees, aimed at a particular demographic there. What's going to be on the musical menu?
All sorts. We're going to have a regular jam session. That's going to be on hopefully bi-weekly.
Yeah.
We're going to have a regular jazz session. We're going to run a karaoke. We're going to run a night of original music, which has to be original compositions from original artists. And then we're going to have the covers night, a rock and roll night, a swing night. The music is going to be really important here. And with the stage, as you've seen, that's a pretty big stage now. So we intend to get the use out of it. But we'll also have an internal stage in the outside building, which will be for the smaller acoustic sets and jazz nights and things like that.
Wonderful. Sounds fantastic, says Andy. Absolutely agree with him. Is anything vegetarian on the menu for Pam?
Oh, absolutely. There's a number of vegetarian options on the menu. We're running a reduced menu generally because, again, nothing to do with us. We need a 3-phase power supply put in, and EDP and eReddish. They've actually been very helpful, but unfortunately, we're just in a queue.
Yeah,
and so until we get that, if we try and work everything would be tripping out. So
something to look forward to there, then an expanded menu.
Yeah, I mean that but we'll manage. We've got, we'll manage and we'll get by. But it's all things to change and alter over the next 2-3 weeks.
Superb. Okay, last comment then, which I think is a really important one. Interesting. The Prohibition Bar is fully inclusive, so in reality, it prohibits no one. That's the spirit of Communities Unite. Everyone welcome, and that'll be a special event on the 5th. Then you can eat from the limited menu that Rich is talking about on the Saturday. But I think the big public do is going to be Sunday the 7th. Is that right, Rich?
Yeah, I would aim if thinking of a proper sort of big event opening. The whole weekender will culminate and peak on the Sunday. So get your bishop's fingers ready on the Sunday.
Colin can't wait. Is he allowed to wear his can we bring our tutus that we're wearing to the netball for that Sunday?
Yeah, I have my wife plays netball, as you know, she's treasurer, and I spoke to her this morning. She did inform me, and she asked me, do you think Carl would fit my dress? To which I absolutely replied, yes, as long as you're not in it. So
yeah, fair enough. Yes.
So
Colin was talking about this sort of thing earlier.
You've got suitable clothing to wear today. I can promise you.
I better
that.
get me green flash cleaned as well. Then, all right, fantastic, Rich. I'm so pleased for you, and please send our best wishes to everybody because it is a massive team effort there. It's such a good model for how you've done it. The involvement, you're making sure people are going to be involved because they're going to be proud of their place, aren't they? That they've invested in Obidos.
And I think, Carl, just in finishing, and thank you for giving us the time. Just 2 points. One. A thanks to everybody for their support, because they're honestly, without it, I really don't know what we would have done. And there's been people come and help us who are not even invested in the bar. They've just come to help because they want to help. And that is a range of 12 nationalities we've had here. And lots of Portuguese too. We've got a Portuguese that's actually sitting on the management team as well, which is fantastic.
It is.
But also, please, whenever we put anything out about the opening, because we previously obviously aimed for the 29th, Good Friday, please do spread the word that the Good Friday is not opening. We will be here because we'll be doing other things, but please spread the word that the opening weekender is 5th, 6th, 7th of April.
Superb. So God bless and good luck to the Prohibition Bar and all who sail in her and have fun there in the coming days, weeks, months and years, of course. Good one. Excellent.
Awesome.
This morning, Richard. All the best. And I'll see you on that Sunday. Take care.
Yeah,
bye for
thank
now.
you. Look forward to it. Cheers.
Love to see you there. Ciao, ciao. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Colin, wow. Isn't that amazing? Let's unmute you so that you can actually comment on this. There we go. Isn't that amazing?
Unbelievable. I mean, the spirit that he's created within Portugal is just unbelievable.
Communities unite. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a few minutes left, and I suspect I will see you there on that Sunday. That sounds like the right day for us to go. That'll be Sunday.
We'll be there.
7th,
we'll be there.
Sunday the 7th of April.
I'm actually at the book exchange in the morning, so I'll just stay there.
The book exchange. I didn't know you could read. What's that about?
Well, it's quite interesting for somebody who doesn't read books that people come in and ask me that, what this author's like. And I said, oh, fantastic. You'll really enjoy it.
Rascal.
Take as many as you like.
It's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And this is a community book exchange up in the castle, isn't it? Is that right?
Yeah. I think today we may have time to just park outside and do a photograph because they need the promotion.
Okay. All right.
It's free books for everybody. All they have to do is give a donation to either the Kitten Connection or Crapper, which is the terrible name of the dog rescue place.
Kitten Connection. I'm sure I've seen that.
Connection. Right? The Kitten Connection is run by some expats in Peniche.
Yeah.
And they've been very good with Liz, helping her catch the feral cats here so that we can mute them all.
I've seen that. So there are feral cats up above the castle there, aren't there? They get caught, they get fed, caught and neutered. Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
And last weekend they were doing a course on how to catch them and how,
Really?
It's called Newton Release. So
okay, all right, fantastic.
One cat can be responsible for 5,000 cats.
Wow, some people are like that.
That's how.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Okay. So the book exchange. This is free books, and you just give a donation, and you can find them at the Obidos Castle. Maybe we'll have a photograph of that.
They have foreign books there as well. They have Dutch, German, Spanish, Swedish books. They have kids Portuguese. They have a load of Portuguese books and kids Portuguese books, which will be helpful for people who want to learn the language.
Yes, very good point. Swedish books. That used to
and
be something very different when I was a
Swedish
teenager.
books. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Excellent. And you're a volunteer.
But mainly it's English books with, they have thousands of English books, thousands and thousands.
Okay. All right. Talking of learning Portuguese, how's your Portuguese going? I'm asking everybody this. I'm not singling you out. Are you up for this, Colin? Are you up for talking a bit more? Look, he's hanging his head in shame there. Actually, literally right there. Are you up for learning and speaking a bit more Portuguese this year?
Yes.
Yes, good man.
Yes. I just find it very, very, very difficult.
Tell me why. Why is this?
you
I
know,
need to know
well,
about this. This is what we need to know.
When I was sat in my grammar school in a place called Mold in North Wales, and they started trying to teach me. Yeah. They tried to teach me German. I thought, well, I live in Wales. Yes. What on earth do I want to learn German for? Give me maths, physics, sciences. I love it. But languages, and it stayed with me, I'm afraid.
Right.
I've only learned. I've only learned English, not properly, anyhow.
That's right, and I understand it's very difficult for a Welsh person to do that. So, congratulations on that, and we're going to take you a stage further. I think you are my worst nightmare, and my best friend in this task of encouraging people to speak more Portuguese. You are my test case, Colin, and I'm looking forward to hanging out with you later on today. We've got quite a few adventures ahead of us, I think. We have pictures from Michael Barton, who has been, look, Philomena on the right there, a wonderful trip to the Schist villages. Where we went, you were on that trip, weren't you, Colin?
Yep, I was.
Absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much, Michael, for that. And this is the meme you sent us as well. I always feel the need to check to make sure my garage is locked at night before going to bed, because I don't want someone stealing all the stuff we've been trying to get rid of for years. That's a true story, isn't it?
That came from Caroline's husband.
Very good. And other pitfalls of modern life. Public service announcement. Don't ever let your printer know that you've waited until the last minute to print something out and you're in a hurry, because they can sense fear. Printers can sense fear. I've got 2 printers now, which are nothing more than big paperweights in my office. They don't work. Every time you buy a new printer these days, you have to register, don't you, and give a DNA swab every time you want to print something. It's ridiculous.
Crazy.
Absolutely. And the cost of the card. So that's a good reason to go digital. I've got a little bit of an announcement, and I'd like your opinion on this. Somebody in our community wants to sell this vehicle, surplus to their requirements. You might have a view on this. This is a 2022 Citroen C3, I beg your pardon, Aircross, bought from new Citroen dealer in Lisbon, about 23,000 kilometers on the clock. Clicks on the clock there, automatic, very good condition. Oh, that would be of interest to an American, wouldn't it, with its auto transmission there. Always stored undercover. Great car for the wee village streets in Portugal. Probably worth around 18k. I think they'll take a little bit less than that. What would you say about that vehicle?
Like all Citroens, they drive like big cars. So for an American who's used to a big, comfortable car, you can't go anything better than the Citroen, because their suspensions are world renowned on comfort.
Okay. All right. There you go. It sounds like a good deal and a nice car if you're looking. And this is something we'll be covering. I mean, this is what we're trying to do more generally, isn't it? Is make it easy for people to buy cars, because some people find it a little bit difficult here in Portugal.
Absolutely.
All right. We're coming up to 10 o'clock. Last word to you, Mr. Colin Ross-Jones. I'll see you later on. What would you like to say to everybody before we go? I'll give you another look at my Porky pudding there. What do you have to say as a parting shot for our friends this morning?
Well, this is going to be a monthly event, and we would like to have some questions in advance so we can fill the airtime more beneficial for you.
Yep.
I'm trying to find extra people to come on, like Chris would have done today.
Yep.
I have a few other irons in the fire to bring other people who would be interesting to listen to from the motoring world. And we will be down at the electric car show showing every car that's there.
Excellent.
Won't we, Carl?
But yes, we will. Look forward to that, and we'll have brushed up on your Portuguese a bit by then as well. So we'll
Obrigado.
De nada. So, até a próxima. Vamos embora. See you later, Colin. Thanks, everybody. And we'll see you tomorrow for some Feel Good
Ciao.
Friday. Ciao, ciao. Bye for now.
Ciao.